Are we finding the ice lolly sticks? Looks very familiar. Mike? Good to see this guy having a good time. He was so stressed out last episode. You know what I mean? Holding it in. Yeah, so we saw him, the thing that he made was for the tires. Man, can I just say, the little seat, the seat rest, like like this thing here, that you know on the seat, are they comfy? Because they don't look it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like soft leather is peak there, but who knows? I don't know. You tell me. Holding, so he's going to get some of the produce and hold it ransom. I don't know. Ooh, well timed. I love Mike's preparation, man. Oof, is he alright? Go check on him. I like him. Do you know what? We've got some character building from this guy. 2 episodes, no dialogue. I'm just saying, mate, you just slid off that seat way smoother if that I wasn't on it. Oh, that was this is intense music. What's going on? Sounds like a foghorn. You know what I mean? I'm looking for the lighthouse. Well. Start with his penis. Sorry, that is not where you should start. Okay, it's not for him. Makes more sense. I'm so sorry that I went straight there. Yeah, interesting. I don't know if this guy saw Mike. There was a cut, but he had the gun against his head and then he's blindfolded, right? This is smooth, man. He's just playing theft, do you think? Mike's smarter than that, though. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't just thieve from these guys. It's way dangerous. Surely he's going to get in touch and be like, I got your money, but like, why? What's that for? I guess maybe to get Tuco. The goal, right, is to get Tuco out of the way. You're just gonna leave him? Hello and welcome to another Better Call Saul Sunday, the show that happens every single Sunday. Thank you for joining me. Today, it is Nailed, episode 9 of season 2. I hope that's not the only nailing we see. What? Have you got your flamingos? Because I have. Let's ride. Alright, show. I like the open neck thing. Don't taunt me. Oh, he's going in again. Wow, that is some resilience.
Didn't you say that the hearing is more or less a formality?
Well, the real work's already been done, yes.
Well, in that case, I'm fine covering it myself.
See?
Kevin and Paige don't need both of us there.
There we go. This is the thing. I dismissed the normal reason that Chuck would have had last episode for getting involved in this case, right? Because it's like, you know, it's easy to fall into that trap of being like, oh, you know, it's just doing his job. It's, you know, normal. It's professionally normal to try and retain a client. And in any other circumstance, I'd agree with you, but that's not the context. If Jimmy hadn't been involved, Chuck would not have left the house. Since this thing with Chuck started, Howard's been handling everything. I'm sure that there have been similar situations where it would have been professionally normal for Chuck to go into the office, but he didn't because he's a very ill man. I think that's very easy sometimes to forget because he's going back and forth and we're not necessarily lingering on it in the same way that we did when he was in the hospital in season 1, right? It's not so in your face, so it's easy to forget, but we shouldn't forget it because that's the point. This isn't safe for him. This takes a great mental and physical toll on him. So it's like, yeah, it's easy to fall into the thing of like, well, it's just normal for a lawyer, someone in Chuck's position, he's a named partner, to go in and do that. But it's like, we know that he hasn't been doing that, right? He's been giving that to Howard, and that line there, this is why I mention it and reiterate this and explain why I didn't go that way last episode, because...
Didn't you say that the hearing is more or less a formality?
That as well, by the way, the formality thing. I mean, we've seen also that Chuck looks down on the formality thing. When they were dealing with the sandpiper case, he sent Jimmy to go deal with the court case that was a formality that he was always going to win, right? Chuck didn't lower himself to go and do that, right? And we've seen that repeatedly throughout this series. We've seen it with Kim as well. Howard did the same with Kim. These people, these kinds of lawyers, Howard and Chuck, they don't do this. And Chuck is lowering himself to go do it. Why is that? And then this compounds upon that.
Well, in that case, I'm fine covering it myself.
I'm fine covering it myself, exactly. And that's what we've been seeing the whole series. So I need to take this. Sorry, I took an important phone call and I completely forgot what I was saying, but long story short, none of this is normal. And all of it, contextually, is because Chuck wants to spite Jimmy. Once more, tear his brother down. There's nothing normal about this. You can't justify it with that excuse. It doesn't apply here because the context is in conflict with that.
We want to send the right message, don't we?
I'm just worried about your comfort.
Fair.
I find victory laps very comforting.
Oh yeah, of course, as long as it's a victory lap around Jimmy. Yeah, I like that little look of worry actually from Howard there. It shows that Howard is genuine. That worry is genuine. This it. Yeah, that unsurety. Oh, hello, sneaky, sneaky boy. Oh, is this victory lap going to turn into something else? Because did they do something maybe based on what Jimmy changed last episode, I wonder? Is Chuck going to get embarrassed? Is he going to have a breakdown because he got something wrong and then, you know, everything's going to come down? Let's not forget, this is a penultimate episode. Yeah, he's not doing okay. Yeah, I think because we saw that worry from Howard and he's doing this again, like Chuck is doing this again, I think we're going to see him collapse or this is going to fail somehow, I think.
Well done, my friend.
Oh, I just wish Howard had given this kind of camaraderie to Kim.
Good morning. This meeting of the New Mexico State Bank.
They are as well. Sorry, I guess I didn't really like properly understand the context of this situation. But yeah. Sorry. So whatever's going down here has, I guess, been predicated on the information that Chuck had. Obviously, that information being wrong. Maybe these guys here, this board here, are gonna pick him up on it. Yeah. Interesting. Oh, interesting. So we're going to deal with this, I think, maybe going into the finale, right? What Jimmy did and how that's going to blow up.
We have Mesa Verde here with us today.
And this is going to be horrible. They're going to lose Mesa Verde, maybe. Kim's maybe going to get them back because this whole thing was, again, predicated on these guys, Howard and Chuck, knowing their stuff. And, like, Mesa Verde are never going to believe that, like, what, Jimmy? Who's Jimmy? Who's Jimmy? Jimmy changed? What do you mean Jimmy changed? Do you know what I mean? They're not going to believe that.
Mr. Wachtel would like to make a brief statement in support of the application.
Yeah, and him coming in and do this himself. He wants to really lord it. He wants to, like, this, do you know what I mean? Jimmy's not here. He's not doing it in Jimmy's face, right? So it's internal. There's something in Chuck right now that he's getting satisfied by this victory and coming here himself and experiencing it himself because it feels good. That's so horribly toxic within himself. And I'm not even saying that as an insult to him. I'm saying that as like a human reaching out and like, Chuck, dude, you gotta fix this because this is not good. This is not healthy. You're not only tearing down your brother, you're feeding something within yourself that breeds toxicity that is only going to cause unhappiness.
Both for
Oh, she's moving. They've caught something.
prided ourselves on personal service and attention to detail.
Attention to detail.
Hold on. Excuse me, Mr. Wachtel, just one moment.
Oh, a fairly significant discrepancy.
Can you give us the address of the proposed Scottsdale branch again?
It's 1216 Rosella Drive,
All right, that was what he changed.
We're seeing 1261 Rosella Drive.
It is 1261.
There seem to be two different addresses.
Ooh.
The address is 1261 Rosella Drive.
Mr. Commissioner,
12.
This is sloppy. It's going to look sloppy.
It's absolutely 1261.
Ooh, yeah, it's getting to him.
with all due respect, you're muddying the waters here.
Muddying the water.
Oh, dear.
It's 1261. I know where my own damn bank is.
Just all calm down.
By the way, there's a slight note in the background of that. You know when the electricity gets to Chuck, there's like that buzzing sound. It's sounding now. And I think it's supposed to be telling us that it's getting to Chuck. And I wonder as well. I don't know, man. I said last episode that I feel like Jimmy is like a root cause of this. What if he made a mistake? Did he make a mistake at some point in his past as well? I guess no, it's this sense of self that Chuck has. I'm getting too specific, I think, by being like Jimmy or like a case that went wrong or something. Like, I think it's this sense of self that Chuck has, because that's the common denominator, right, in those things. Jimmy makes him very insecure in himself. Now, I've talked about that a lot. I'm not going to rehash it here, but you know what I'm talking about. Getting something wrong here and his intellectual presence and him as an intellectual man, as we've seen as well. Not going to go over that again, which is being questioned here, right? This is what this is. Him being right about little details, little notes. It's getting questioned, and he is wrong. And so that's questioning his sense of self and who he is and the idea of himself that he holds so lofty high that if anyone comes against that, bang, we've got Chuck with this condition. And I wonder how much of it is that. I would go so far as to say that is probably the foundation for where it comes from. This immaturity in himself, in this lack of being able to process his own feelings in a healthy way, this lack of being able to self-reflect in a way that means he can grow as a person and get past these things, right?
I don't quite understand.
Jimmy, can Chuck not... Oh, look at this face. Oh, he's like, Kim!
I'm being told by staff that they've already done the research for 1216.
Oh, that's big.
All due respect, it's up to you folks to submit accurate paperwork. Maybe next time, double check. The soonest we could revisit this matter.
Oh, God.
Because 6 weeks from Friday.
6 weeks.
Mesa Verde has put effort and resources.
Yeah, you can hear it, the sound, it's getting louder. Chuck's gonna collapse and he's gonna go to hospital, I think. Ooh, interesting how that's gonna make Jimmy feel, considering Jimmy did this, right? Interesting on that front too. And let's be honest, like, Chuck is gonna absolutely clock that it was Jimmy eventually. That was a spicy finale, right? Like, everything that's been set up here. Oh man, that finale.
Approval would be most appreciated.
The little stuttering.
I'll see you in 6 weeks. Staff, please note that
Hold it together, dude, come on.
in 6 weeks, this application.
Ooh, dude.
This is not possible.
Okay, well, he got out of there. No, that's good. That's gonna save Jimmy's feelings, at least.
1261. No.
Chuck.
Oh, Jimmy was there. Oh, that is a cruel trick, Jimmy. That is a cruel trick. That's really harsh, because so as they were leaving for the meeting, obviously Jimmy was outside. He went back in, switched the boxes back. So the whole point is to make Chuck feel like he's insane. That's a deep cut, man. I get it from Jimmy's perspective. I'm kind of almost, though, and you saw how harsh I was being towards Chuck last episode, making him question his sanity when he's in a place that he's vulnerable. He's very vulnerable, and I get he did a bad thing. He deserves to, pay for that. I don't know if this is appropriate. Like, that's a lot. I'm just saying, like a vulnerable person like Chuck, he kind of deserves it, but that's really hard. Like, do you know what I mean? That's so carefully curated as a punishment for Chuck by the show, because like me as the audience, I'm not sure if that's maybe over the line, dude. But also I can imagine people are like, no, he deserved it. Do you know what I mean? I bet there's so many people that come down on different sides of this. I'm honestly not sure why I come down on it. There's part of me from last episode that's like, no, he deserves this. Yeah, stop about. Like, stop it. Chuck is. And well, okay. I think if I've got to follow the logical point of the arguing that I was doing at the beginning of this episode with contextualizing the reason Chuck made the decision he made, it wasn't normal. He's going to immense effort, despite his illness and condition, that Chuck is making that decision for himself, right? To come in and sabotage Jimmy's life. And not only Jimmy's life at this point now, Kim's life. And I think that Kim's life is the one that made Jimmy act so harshly, honestly. I think if it was just himself, he maybe would have hit back, maybe he would have stopped before he, made Chuck question himself in this way. I think it's the Kim aspect that made Jimmy go this far. But I think what I was saying at the beginning of this episode and last episode, I think to follow, like I say, that logical track through, I think I've got to say, considering the effort that Chuck did, he made that decision, right? He's responsible for that decision. He's responsible for the consequences of that decision as well. And it's not just one thing. It's been Jimmy's whole life from a certain point, from the point that Jimmy got taken in by Chuck. And yes, granted, saved by Chuck as well from prison. But I think considering that context, again, as much as like in this moment, isolated, I want to say that's really overly harsh. I think it's warranted, honestly. Considering the greater, wider context of everything and the fact that Chuck isn't stopping, right? And the fact that Chuck made this decision, these are just the consequences of his actions, man. And I don't think it's going to last. I think he will find out that Jimmy did something or work it out. But for now, as much as I think that's really harsh and almost over the line, I don't think it is.
1216. It was. I checked. I double checked.
Chuck, now we take our licks and we move on.
Yeah, you got to just move past it, man. But the reason this is so important, so integral, so going to bother him so much is this sense of self that I talked about. And this is where I think it comes from, because this sense of self, this image he has in his own brain of himself is so precious to him, and it's being rocked right here, and he's not going to just be able to brush this off and get over it and move past it.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Oh, Jimmy was here. Oh, and it's going to seem like to Howard that Chuck is just insane about Jimmy at this point.
This was no mistake.
Yeah. Ooh, I wonder though. I don't know. Will Chuck confront Jimmy more openly, or will he look to sabotage him now?
I'm buying around for the house.
This gentleman's buying around for the house.
Is this part of his ploy, or is it just Mike opening himself up a little bit, maybe? Is that to draw Hector back in, or is it just Mike doing his thing and being happy? I don't know. Nicely done. Teamwork.
You okay? Corner.
Nice. Build up the office. This is the thing now. Chuck is never gonna let them thrive. Hey, nice colour. I like it.
Hi, Paige. How are you?
Hello. Hey, office looking good though.
Listen, Paige. Thank you.
Playing it cool.
I just got Mesa Verde back. Seriously?
There it is.
Holy shit, That's unbelievable.
Oh, that's really well acted from Bob there. When that's genuine from Jimmy's point of view, he's so much more enthusiastic, so much more genuine and enthusiastic. There's a little bit of something tamped down on his reaction there because it's obviously a fake reaction here.
Holy shit, that's unbelievable.
Right? It's not quite Jimmy. It's not quite as big as he'd usually do it. The differentiation between those two reactions because of the situation and because one's genuine and one isn't. Really good.
Paige didn't go into it. She just said the filing didn't go through. We're going to meet this afternoon.
That's awesome.
Sometimes the good guys win.
Mm-hmm.
Worried that one lawyer won't be able to handle it. You can. Yeah, I'm going to have to get a paralegal. Hey, Kim, you got this.
Yeah, and I love that from Jimmy. This is so selfless. He did that. I don't know. I think there was part of it, obviously, that was like, you didn't just comfort Kim. You did comfort me. I think there probably is a selfish part in there, you know, the motivation for why Jimmy did it. Absolutely. To get back at Chuck and just get back at him. I honestly do think that he also was thinking selflessly. And he was like, I see an opportunity to get Mesa Verde back for Kim as well. Just in his reaction here, all of his reactions and the way that he's like, no, you can handle it. She's like, I need to get a paralegal. And my brain went like, share it with Jimmy. But Jimmy didn't even do that. He didn't like, you know, like his decision not to go like, I can help, share it with me, you know, and share in the glory. The fact he didn't do that and he was like, no, you've got this. That's what makes me think that selflessness is genuine.
Hey, Kim, you got this. All right?
Yeah.
Mesa Verde files. Chuck's ready to turn them over to me. I'm going to go change and get over there. You want some help? That depends. Are you going to carry boxes or are you going to...
Interesting. Let's see how this goes.
Ground yourself. Just touch the thing.
Get rid of the electrical charge, yeah.
Hell, this thing doesn't.
Change his locks, really locking Jimmy out now. Good. Oh, mate, you need to just chill out, okay? You did this.
Kim, I was hoping to have this conversation with you and you alone.
Yeah, I knew it. I think it's going to be a thing of like, here are the boxes. Well, congratulations. Here's Mesa Verde. Yeah, watch out. Watch out for Jimmy. He did this to me, and there's no reason he's not going to do it to you. Even though, like, Jimmy would never. This thing with Chuck is so specific to Chuck, because Chuck, dude, it's based on your actions and the consequences of your actions over the course of years, mate.
I guess it's time to clear the air once and
Good.
for all.
Maybe this will be progress.
Clear the air about what?
He sabotaged me.
Peace on that.
What do you... Please, don't bother.
Yeah, fair enough.
You and I both know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Jimmy can't admit it.
Yesterday morning was the worst professional humiliation of my life.
Really? Okay, so maybe not a thing in the past then.
Then I realized it wasn't an error.
Chuck sounds a little insane though. He's right, he just sounds a little bit insane.
Last night, I was right there on that couch,
Why?
barely conscious.
Hey Chuck, why were you on the couch, dude? Oh, very dramatic.
My brother was going to take care of me.
Oh, because Chuck thinks he came in just to do that. But it's like, no. And so he thinks that the whole thing of like him coming to take care of him was fake. And it's like, no, it was based on the words you said.
And in the dead of night, he went through my Mesa Verde files.
Chuck is so... Oh, that little gulp from Jimmy. They're like, oh God, okay, can I do this?
You know what? We don't have to listen to this.
She does.
This is the thing. Chuck doesn't understand this situation because he's never going to take the blame for his own actions. He's never going to be like, what I said was really damaging. What I did was really damaging. What I did was only motivated specifically to tear down my brother, specifically to sabotage his life and his professional career. That was the only reason I did that. Chuck can't see that. I want that awakening. I do feel like that's seasons in the making. I do feel like we're going to get that maybe, but it's going to be a while. But that's what he needs, and he doesn't see it right now.
Jimmy pulled each and every one. Then he left me here, sweating and delirious.
You were fine. The only person that would possibly believe Chuck in this moment is Kim. Oh, is she going to reject Mesa Verde because of that? Oh, I can see that happening. Because she's like, I didn't earn it. But you did. Okay, we'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
You should know, in high school, he had a thriving business.
Oh, shut up.
Making fake IDs so his buddies could buy beer.
You're going all the way back to high school, huh?
Right. God, Chuck. You need to excise this thing in your head about your brother because that is why he's not been able to move on from it. Man, you never gave him a chance and you still don't give him a chance ever. Even at this point in the show, before last episode, when you could have just let him be and live his life. You got everything. This is the poisonous nature of Chuck, is that Jimmy actually did, like I said last episode, everything that Chuck would have wanted. He got rid of Davies and Maine. He left Davies and Maine and went out back on his own again. Everything Chuck would have wanted. And Chuck, even in that situation, couldn't have just sat down and been like, he's fine. Just, he's over there. Leave him alone. Even when, this is how much of a toxic case, a sad case we've got when we're talking about Chuck, is that Chuck got everything he wanted, right? Everything that we know about season 1 and everything that happened there, we as the audience know that is exactly what Chuck wanted. And even when he's given exactly what he wants in regard to Jimmy, he can't let Jimmy be. You know, like, oh my goodness.
You both started young.
And sorry, Chuck was humiliated professionally. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. All of the stuff that Jimmy's had to put up with because of Chuck over the course of years, not even knowing it, all the sabotage that Chuck has been doing over the course of years, nah, absolutely not. No chance at all. Like, you can't sit down and take your defeat. He did. Chuck deserved that. He absolutely deserved it. And no, it's good because he's not questioning his sanity. That was the thing that made me think it's over the line. He's not. He's clocked it straight away, which is fair. So he's fine. So that's brilliant because for me now, I'm like, you, Chuck. Like, consequences of your actions, you lost. And he can't take it.
Over and over, I typed 1216 instead of 1261.
This is just a petty family spat. It's funny. Sorry, I've just realised, obviously, this time last season was Pimento, right? And the moment we found out that Chuck had been sabotaging Jimmy his whole life. Not his whole life, but you know what I'm talking about. And now in episode 9, nailed this season, we see it reversed. That's so beautiful. You know, Jimmy has sabotaged Chuck.
I did all this, what, for some business?
He did it for you.
Okay, spot on, fair play. Yeah, and he did, selfless. Yeah, she knows. That look between the two of them there, that was beautiful.
And did this as some kind of twisted romantic gesture.
Oh, no. No. And again, Chuck is right but wrong. It's like, kind of, but also, no, you took it from her. She had it. She earned it. She got it. Howard would never have got it back. The only reason he you know, HHM got it back was because of Chuck. And the only reason Chuck came in was because of Jim. He doesn't have the self-awareness to see all that.
Now that you know, you have no choice.
Beautiful now if Kim comes back at him. Considering the conversation that they had and Chuck came to her when she was like, do I have a future at the firm? And that, like, Kim has seen throughout the series this thing in Chuck in regard to Jimmy, right? She's seen that, she knows that. And sorry, this look here makes me wonder whether she's going to hold him up to account actually in a minute.
Now that you know,
here,
you have no choice.
Look at this.
This is about
you have no choice. Yeah, she's like, excuse me, I have no choice. Do you know what I mean? He's constantly taking away her agency, right? She's constantly getting her agency taken away from her. And her whole decision-making process that puts her in the show where she is right now is her taking that back. And now, once again, he's just willy-nilly, just like it's nothing. It's being like taking her agency again. So, yeah, let's see.
A client who has been defrauded. You have no recourse but to go to Kevin Wachtel.
Wow. Seriously.
It's all about getting his client back. That's all this is.
Not in the least. If knowing the truth, they still decide.
She's caught between them.
I can't stand the fact that my own brother stabbed me in the back.
Oh.
You've deceived and ruined this fine.
That line is beautiful. You hypocritical, stupid f***. You can't stand the fact that your brother stabbed you in the back. Do I have to address that? Or can we just accept that as the beautiful moment that it is?
Young woman.
Ruined? What is this, the 1840s?
Is no one going to pick on... Come on, can we pick up on that?
Jimmy, if what you're saying is true, Jimmy could be charged with forgery, fraud, even breaking and entering.
Do you want to do that to your brother?
I am sick about this.
No, you're not. Liar.
And what is your evidence?
Boom. Boom. Yeah.
Evidence is knowing my brother for his entire life.
Oh, shut up.
Chuck, I think there's another explanation. It's a simple one.
You're insane.
You made a mistake.
Oh, yes, Kim.
You're working by lantern light, squinting over 10-point type for hour after hour.
I love this.
I did not make a mistake.
Oh.
I believe you did. Look.
Amazing. And by doing this and that line there, I believe you did. Taking power back from Chuck. The power that he tried to take away from her in that line before and taking away her agency of like, you got to do this. Because that's his whole shtick. He's just trying to manipulate Kim. And she's smarter than that. She knows that. She saw that. And so now, because of that, I think we're going to get after this. She's going to come to Jimmy and be like, what did you do? Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's going to be a reckoning there. But I think she's so smart. She sees before her these brothers, this petty bickering. And she sees Chuck, and Chuck not being held up at any point either for what he's been doing. And I love that. I love that she's seen that. And yeah, and I think it is. I think it's in that line and her tack in this conversation. And the reason she came down on this side so hard was Chuck trying to take that agency away from her. 16. And now she's like, no. You made a mistake. You are the weak one in this situation. I have the power. What evidence do you have? I'm a lawyer too. We can talk about evidence if you want. Oh, what evidence do you have? You know, she's taking that power back. Perfect. I love that.
I did not make a mistake.
I love that.
I believe you did.
Look.
That look.
You made a mistake, and instead of just facing up to it, you accuse your brother of plotting against you.
Yeah.
He's capable of this. You know he is.
I know he's not perfect.
Nice.
And I know he cuts corners.
Good.
But you're the one who made him this way.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
He
Kim.
idolizes you.
Yes.
He accepts you.
Preach.
He takes care of you.
Yes.
And all he ever wanted was your love and support. But all you've ever done is judge him.
Kim. Oh, I love you.
You never believed in him. You never wanted him to succeed.
I love it. I told you. I felt like she was going to hold him to account.
And you know what?
Go on. More. More.
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, fair play. And you should. Having him as a brother.
And I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, fair. Oh, power. Power. She's the most powerful person in this room right now. Yeah. That little wobbly lip. You deserve that, Chuck. You deserve that. You little man.
For you.
Oh. What? Oh, man. Kim is the hero. Kim is the hero of the episode. I love Kim. What a gem. What a gem. Yeah, this look here, she knows. I don't think she's even gonna ask. She knows. Yeah.
Kim, what?
Stop it, Jimmy. Stop disrespecting her, she knows.
Drive.
These men in her life just bickering and lying and treating her like she's below them, like she's not clever enough to see. It's what that anger is. And also the fact that he did that, and you know, because like also from Kim's perspective, Jimmy doing what he did and essentially getting her back Mesa Verde is in a certain way, and she might see it this way, I'm not sure, is belittling her. It's like, oh, you couldn't get it yourself, I'll get it for you, don't worry. And so maybe there's an element of that as well. God, I love that scene so much. Her taking Chuck to account. Maybe he's actually going to let that sink in a little bit. I mean, that's a little bit wishful thinking, innit? But do you know what? We hope. We live in hope. What have you got on, mate?
Let's go.
I like it. Okay.
Rhubarb, 9 o'clock.
Oh,
If we could get those kids in that building over there to just keep it down.
And no one is allowed here without permission.
Of course not.
the confidence that he just wandered over to her with.
You didn't speak to Annette.
Annette?
Rupert Holmes. That's who the documentary is about. The Pina Colada song.
Don't sing it. It would be in my head all day. Please, no, don't.
If you like Pina Coladas.
Great, thanks, Jimmy. That's all I'm going to hear for a week.
Class of '64. He still talks about it.
The school was built in 71.
He was a student in the old building.
Man, he's so clean, isn't he?
Isn't Rupert Holmes English?
You gotta shut up, mate.
Well, yeah. And that's some great trivia.
He's having to think on his feet.
Shouldn't take very long, I'm sure. No promises, but I'll see what I can do about getting the kids to quiet down.
Oh, she's soulmate.
No last looks. Just the flag. The flag.
Mate. Neck.
Gravitas.
Mate, you're...
Hey.
Yep, thank you. Well, don't litter.
Nice.
Amazing. Oh, that's the thumbnail. Oh, you know it.
This is gonna be your first winter in Albuquerque. You stay around long enough, you'll have some to shovel.
That suits me.
Oh.
You can shovel my drive if you're looking for more.
Oh, hello. You gonna ask her out? He's feeling good. No, maybe he is just living it up a little bit, letting himself enjoy it, but I think maybe Hector's gonna come maybe here and be like, hey.
We gotta talk.
No, Nacho, okay.
Truck headed south got hijacked. Someone stole $250,000.
Ooh, that is a lot of money.
I think it was you.
Good instincts.
This driver, he's still breathing.
Mm-hmm.
He was in on it, right?
Driver had nothing to do with it.
Then who?
Just me.
Yeah.
You're telling me you did this without someone on the inside?
He's that good, dude.
All I can tell you is you guys aren't half as smart as you think. Why wasn't it in the papers?
Right, that's what he was checking.
The cops don't know shit about it. Is that what this is about? You wanted to put the cops onto Hector? Why? He forgot all about you.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten him.
He threatened Kaylee.
You need to calm yourself down.
That never works, Mike.
And just so you know, it's over. I'm done with your boss.
Okay.
Whatever.
Was it just because of Kaylee? Because he threatened Kaylee?
After you left, the Good Samaritan came along.
And that Good Samaritan?
Hector shot him in the face.
Damn, that's gonna hit Mike. You wanted to do it clean, no deaths. Yeah, that death is hitting him. Bless him. Why wasn't it in the papers? I feel like, is there more to that, maybe?
Finish the commercial.
I do want to see it. I feel like he's gone really hard on it though. And I feel like it's going to be too much maybe.
You want to talk about this?
Not now, not ever.
Fair. It's like, cool, it's done, move on. Not happy about it, but can't do anything about it now.
You are meant for Mesa Verde, and they are meant for you.
He is right though. Go on, Kim.
Night.
Dude, don't bottle it up though. If you got something to say, say it.
Your brother is one smart lawyer.
Oh.
He'd make quite an adversary. The kind of adversary who'd find even the smallest crack in your defense.
Has Kim seen something? A crack in the defense?
Going against him, you'd really want to make sure you've got all your I's dotted.
She's right though.
Nothing for him to find.
She's helping him. Interesting. I wonder the toll that is going to take on her, actually. If any. Maybe not, but... Right. I did wonder. I thought Chuck was going to have gone... Oh, wow, of course he can't go anywhere, really. Oh, he sent Ernie. Yeah, the camera footage, I guess.
Remember me?
No. You murdered someone?
Wow. Really went to the...
Rob a bank?
No way am I that cool. Sometimes I go number 2 and I don't flash.
You do, and that's a problem, Jimmy. Can we address that?
And we're both lawyers. I mean, that's a long and boring story you don't want to know.
You say that, mate. I've been watching this whole time. It's pretty good.
Is this gonna get me jammed up with the cops?
Hey, this guy asking the questions. Fair play to him. Yeah, come on, kid. Come on.
Hey, tell me about the cameras.
Thank you. Good.
It tapes for 12 hours and then records over itself. Could be tricky and expensive.
Like $100 expensive.
Oh, you should have said 50.
Like $200.
Yeah, you know he's going to double. Well, okay, he was ready.
You will go far, my young friend.
Is this enough, I wonder? I see an eventuality that has Chuck destroying Jimmy. Wow, he did really come out here. Ernie, mate. No, just go somewhere else. Just, like, look more natural.
I showed you this photo.
Show me it. Is it a good one?
On or about the
18th, early.
Nice. All right. The guy's on point. Come on, mate.
No.
And Chuck would never offer a bribe. That's the kicker. Because that's the only way. Pay him more money than Jimmy's paid him.
The night of Tuesday, the 17th, leading into early Wednesday.
Don't know what to tell you. Guess I was wrong.
Nice.
Listen carefully.
Yeah, the sound again. Is he going to collapse, I wonder?
Mr. McGill, maybe we better get you home.
Okay, good, Ernie. Yes, you're a gem.
Do not speak to me as if I were a child.
He's going. He's gone. That's it. Oh, God. Ooh. You can't go in there, Jimmy. You can't go in there.
Fraud. Falsifying evidence.
I don't want Lance. Lance might crack if he sees this guy collapsing.
Okay. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with me. Ernie, shut up!
Oh, hey. Oh.
You think about the choice you're making.
Hello, hello.
What do you want me to say?
I want you to speak the truth.
This is stressing me out, man.
How do we get this to do 11 by 14?
No, excuse me. We
Oh, Chuck, dude.
are having a conversation here.
Wow, that privilege, huh? Chuck, you've overplayed your hand.
I don't want any problems here. So just...
Look how obsessed Chuck is.
I'm out of here or I'm gonna call the cops, okay?
Good, Lance.
Here, done talking to you, man.
Chuck. Oh, yeah. Oh! Ernie, get on it. Ernie. But look how...
Call 911.
Right, call 911, yeah. Look how hard Chuck is pushing himself to get Jimmy. Do you know what I mean? Again, consequences of his, you know, and like, I feel sympathy for him in that moment. You know, he's bashing his head. He's not okay. He needs to be, you know what I mean? He needs help. He needs help, and he shouldn't be there, and he shouldn't be pushing himself, and he needs an ambulance. Like, they should call 911. Absolutely. But you can't forget the reason he's there, and he's pushing himself. And Lance said no. He said no again. He said no again. And he was like, get out of my face, man. Stop it. This is my answer. I'm going to go help. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a normal situation, and Chuck should have just walked away. He could have just walked away, but he's so upset. He needs to get Jimmy so badly that he'll push himself to the extent that he'll collapse in public and endanger himself. And again, it comes back to this thing of he needs to step back and let this be. He needs to let his brother live. The reason we're in this situation, it's got so messy and it's got so deep, is because of what Chuck did and the decisions he has made and the reasons, the motivations for those decisions that he's he's made being so unhealthy and morally negative, it's because of Chuck. It's because of his bad decision making. It's because he can't process and mature over all of this. And he's so obsessed. Obsessed to a horribly unhealthy point, right? We see that there. So while I feel sympathy for him, while, God, I hate that he cracked his head. He should get help. Someone needs to call help. At the same time, I see the flip side of the coin. And the only reason he got there, the only reason he, you know, it got that bad was because he was obsessing over Jimmy and harassing, honestly, this guy. He couldn't let it go. And that's just like a personification of him not being able to let any of this go. And he needs to for his health, because otherwise it's going to destroy him, right? This is this right now, and this is what's happened because of it. If this keeps going, mate, Chuck's going to end up dead. Yeah. We'll see. Briefly, before I end the video, the scene with Kim. And some beautiful stuff from Kim this episode, but the scene with Kim and her taking that power back from these two men, right? Jimmy and Chuck, who keep trying to take it away from her. You know, obviously that's a theme with Kim's character as well. Howard's doing the same, has been doing the same. Her coming back and again, actually holding Chuck up to account, right? And being like, you did this, and this. No, turn inwards, reflect. And we see that he's not so much, right? But like maybe eventually some of that's going to get through. I don't know. But that scene was beautiful. And I think the mirroring with Pimento, also very beautiful. The way that Jimmy, you know, is taking the autonomy and sabotaging Chuck in the same way we saw. And it was revealed that Chuck had been sabotaging Jimmy in Pimento. Yeah, beautifully reflected. Episode 9's there. So yeah, going into next episode, we'll see. We shall see. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, as always, to my beautiful patrons. Thank you genuinely for your support. Early access, links down below if you're interested. Finale next week with the premiere as well, so make sure you subscribe to catch that and chat along with me as we watch. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, watch another one. Click this video right here. Keep that hype train going, and I will see you very, very soon.